This is Business Talk, your business, your success. Sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given is not intended to replace that of your business advisor. Now, let's get down to talking about your business, your success. This is Business Talk.
All right, well, good afternoon, Ohio.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
This is
Just
good.
Another beautiful winter day here in Ohio.
Yes, this is Pete McDowell and Michelle Calcasola.
You got it.
And we're talking about your business today. And if you haven't tuned in before, Michelle and I are business coaches, and we're part of a firm. And Peg Burley and Angie Haynes are not here today, but they're here in other weeks.
They're here in
Michelle
spirit.
and I, they're here in spirit. And I'm sure they're listening. And
Of course.
wanted to just introduce ourselves a little bit, tell you a little bit about what we do. And we work with a variety of different types of businesses, small and large. We work with some Fortune 500 companies and do executive coaching, but we also do, and probably 2/3 of our work is with companies that are 2 to 200 employees.
Yes, and it's so much fun getting to work and make such an impact in those businesses. As business coaches, sometimes people say, well, what is a business coach? Because even though it's becoming more and more mainstream these days, some people just don't understand what that is. What is it that we do? And we kind of like to equate it to a personal trainer or an athletic coach, because we are here to push you past your comfort zone and
Right.
get you to work and get the success-driven, get your goals for what you want to accomplish in your business, what
Right.
your company owner wants to accomplish in their business, because sometimes we work with multiple people throughout the company, not just the business owner.
Right, right. And it's your goals. It's similar to when you go to a personal trainer, you tell them, hey, I want to get stronger. I want to get faster. I want to get less gray. Oh, excuse me. But you want to get in better shape, or you want to be able to run a quarter mile without dying from exhaustion.
Exactly.
And you create your own goals, and we help you make sure you get things done.
Right. We hold you
And
accountable.
it's hold you accountable for yourself, hold you accountable your employees, and we work with a lot of companies where we also work with the employees as well as the business owners.
Absolutely.
So.
And the phenomenal success that is out there is just waiting to be had.
So one of the things we're going to talk about today is the 7 decisions that determine your success. And this is from a book that Michelle and I and Peg and Angie have all read, and it's called The Traveler's Gift. And we recommend that. We're going to recommend books all the time on this show.
Absolutely.
And some of these books are directly related to business, and some of them are more related to anything. Your personal life, your business life, everything that you're working on.
Yes.
And this book is an awesome book. And the author is it Michelle?
It's Andy Andrews, and it's just an amazing book. You can actually follow him. He has a Facebook
Now,
page,
did his
and he has a
parents,
blog.
what were they thinking? Did they really, they said, let's call him Andrew?
Couldn't think of anything
And
else.
his last name's Andrew.
Right.
Okay, great.
Andrew.
Brilliant. Like Joe
Brilliant.
Joseph or
Exactly.
something. Yeah,
Just
right.
Why make things
fantastic.
confusing? Let's
Yeah,
keep
it's
it
easy.
simple.
Simple. So you can remember the author really well. Again, it's The Traveler's Gift. And we're going to talk about 7 decisions that determine success. But first, I want to talk a little bit about some good news.
Oh,
We
we
like
love
to
good
have
news.
good news because, as you know, when you listen to the radio or you listen to the news at night, holy cow, there's all kinds of nasty
Yeah,
stuff on
it
there.
can make you depressed just in seconds.
So don't do that. Listen to this.
That's right.
Okay. One of the things that I've got here is a note from the Wall Street Journal. It says January, the Consumer Sentiment Index, which is all of us, was 98.1. That's about as high as you can get. And in October, it was 87.2. So at this
Oh.
point, people are actually very optimistic about things. And it's a big jump. It also says, it goes on to say in this article, that people haven't started to spend more yet.
Okay.
They're very optimistic, but they haven't opened their wallets yet. So we've got to figure out how to get them to do that, right?
So let's go spend, America.
Yeah, let's go spend, America. It helps everything. The other thing I found in here was really interesting is that we like business. We're kind of addicted to it. Michelle actually runs another business and is coaching, and Peg and I have another business, and we just love to figure out how to make these things work. And there's a movie out about the founder
I saw
with
that.
Michael Keaton in it, and I haven't seen it yet, but the review is kind of it's good, but there's some things, of course, it drags sometimes,
Sure.
but they basically say the movie is pretty good. So I'd like to see that. It's kind of
Yeah.
a rags to riches how he did it. And how he teamed up with those other guys that already had the restaurant going, and,
Right.
and they were all into systems. And we're very positive about systems. If you create systems for your business, you will be able to grow much more rapidly. And obviously, that's what McDonald's did.
Right.
So.
Well, the other book that we recommend often, especially when people are starting the coaching process, is the E-Myth Revisited.
Oh,
and
right.
they refer to the McDonald's infrastructure.
And the author
often
on
in
that
there.
one?
You asked me too early in the morning, even though it's the afternoon.
Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it.
We'll get it. We'll look that up. That hit fast. But yeah, it's a really great book for that. So I think we should have a team field trip to go see that movie.
That is Michael Gerber is the author of the E-Myth Revisited. Now, there's some
it.
other E-Myth books out there. We recommend the E-Myth Revisited. It's the best one of
Yes.
the series. And what he basically talks about is that every business, if it's really going to grow and be successful as it grows, needs to become systemized.
Right.
Otherwise, you end up with problems with delivery of service and profitability and all kinds of issues.
Yeah. They talk about even as simple as 1.5 shakes of salt will get you the right combination of fries. Otherwise, it's not McDonald's fries.
I think you should have enough salt in your bloodstream. So this is Business Talk with Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell. And we're here talking about your business, your success. And the thing we want to start with today is to talk about 7 decisions that determine your success.
Yes.
And these can be applied personally and in your business.
Absolutely.
Great.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes, and as we talked about before, this is a book by Andy Andrews called The Traveler's Gift, an amazing book. I actually read it on vacation, and I love to read books. We read books all the time, but this was one that I actually could enjoy.
Not one of those
sitting
crime
on the
novels or
beach.
something here on the beach
Exactly.
reading a business book.
Reading
Awesome.
a business book, but it was enjoyable
You
enough. I
got
could
it
do
bad,
that.
girl. Okay.
I tell you.
So, Michelle, tell us about number 1.
Number 1, the first decision is the buck stops here.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Harry Truman. Was that him?
I think
He
so.
had it on his desk?
Yeah, the buck stops here. So this is something where basically you are going to take responsibility and accountability for the actions that you have decided in your life. The decisions that have gotten you here so far, the decisions that you're currently making, and the decisions you will make in the future. You are ultimately responsible for the things that happen to you.
And everything. If you're a manager in a company, or you're the owner of a company, or you're a salesperson, or whatever it is,
Exactly.
your results are the result of your actions
They are.
previously.
Absolutely.
And how you responded to different events that happened to you or didn't happen to you. How
Exactly.
you respond is what you get.
Yep.
Okay.
And one of the major concepts that we use in coaching with this is above and below the line. So this is something that we talk about. It's your line of choice, as we call it.
Okay.
Above the line, we would have our ownership, accountability, and responsibility. So
So if you guys are at home, you can draw a line on a piece of paper. Those of you that are driving, don't do this. Just picture
that would be
a line.
bad idea. Picture a line.
Yeah. It's the horizon in front of you.
That's right.
And you've got ownership, accountability, and responsibility above the line.
That's right.
And we'll plug another book. It's Urban Meyer's book, Above the Line.
Hey, that's easy. How
Yep.
did he come up with that name?
I don't know.
It's a great name. Yes,
great name.
exactly. He uses this exact concept and talks about it as in relation to his coaching and his team and winning the
Right.
national championships.
How do you get great results? Well,
Exactly.
if you're above the line as much as possible, if you take ownership for everything that's happening around you and to you and with you,
Yep.
and you're accountable for the results you get, whether they're good or bad,
Right.
and you take responsibility
You
to
will
do the
succeed.
things you need to do, the right things. That, for example, we're talking about personal trainers. If I do the push-ups, I'm going to get the result I want. If I don't do the push-ups, I can't expect the results that I really want.
Yes, and I cannot do below the line behaviors, and below that line, if you drew your
Or
line on your
those,
piece of paper.
what does Peg like? Those cherry pickers. There's certain exercises that certain people like and certain people don't like. I'm thinking,
Right.
thanks, Peg.
Thanks,
but
Peg.
you help me to be more aerobically fit.
Exactly. Absolutely. So below that line behavior would be having blaming others for the things that happened, excuses, always making excuses for why it didn't get done, or
Okay.
denial, just absolutely putting your head in the sand and denying that anything's ever even happened.
Yep.
So those are very dangerous things, and all you're going to get is reasons there. There's no way to get to results. So in order to get to results, you have to pull yourself above that line and go back to the OAR, the ownership, accountability, and
Yeah,
responsibility.
so those of you that drew the line that are home, you've got a line, you've got ownership, accountability, responsibility, OAR above the line. Below the line, you've got blame, excuses, denial. And if
Yes.
we're down there too often, we're all human beings, right? So we're going to drop
Yes.
there occasionally.
Right.
And the whole trick is to recognize when you're down there.
Absolutely.
Again, this is Business Talk with Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell, and we're talking about your business and how to apply some of these things to your business.
Right. And again, we're referring to the book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. So another thing about this is I am where I am because of the decisions that I have made. So it's really, again, taking that accountability, taking that responsibility, but realizing that whatever slot in life that you are, whether it's good, bad, indifferent,
Right.
it is there because of the decisions that you've made in the past. So we need to think now solution-based to move forward. So all my thoughts for the future need to be solution-based thoughts. If we're not in a place that we want to be, we need to find a way to develop a solution of how we're going to get
Okay.
there.
So it's okay to think about the past.
Yes.
However, We don't want you to sit there all day thinking about the past.
Exactly.
And we don't want you to beat yourself up either. Remember this blame, excuses, denial. That blame doesn't just include, and we've heard this from some of our business owners occasionally, and we love all you guys. And sometimes you hear, oh, the economy stinks, or my competitor dropped his prices below what's reasonable, or this, that, the other thing. They're blaming others or other organizations or the government or whatever. And it's like, it's okay to think that. Then you've got to think about, what do I do about it?
Right.
And that's where the taking ownership of the situation comes, and figuring out, well, what do I need to do as a result of whatever's changed in the business world, in the economy around the world, anything. We've got to figure out what action do we need to take.
And think, I alone am responsible for my success.
Yes. And my employees, and we help them be successful as well. So that's part of what we want to do. So when we get back, we're going to talk more about these 7 decisions that determine your success from a book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews.
Got it.
And Michelle, what is the second thing you're going to talk about?
The next
Second
thing we're going to talk
principle.
about is seeking wisdom.
Oh, seeking wisdom.
That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, and then we want to apply it, folks.
That's right.
To learn more about today's topic, call 614-306-7922. Now, back to more business talk.
Well, good afternoon again. This is Pete McDowell and Michelle Calcasola, and we're talking about your business. And we've talked a little bit about the 7 decisions that determine your success. This is from a book called The Traveler's Gift, which we really recommend. And you covered number 1. What was number 1 again, Michelle?
The number 1 was the buck stops here.
All right.
Ultimately, taking responsibility for what has happened and what will happen.
Sure.
What you're going to do.
You know, and most extremely successful people, you think about that statement right there, and they do push through really tough things.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking of Michael Phelps, that swimmer guy, and it's just crazy things that he's accomplished.
Yep.
And it's been, swimming in a pool. I don't know. Some of you guys like that. I tried it a couple of times. Holy cow!
It's really
it's
hard.
kind of boring. I like to talk to people. You're like, wow, you get your face in the water.
Yeah.
But the guy decided, hey, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get this done, and he did it.
Absolutely.
So
So that was number 1. Now number 2 we're moving on to is seek wisdom. So we think that wisdom is out there just waiting to be gathered. Just think of all the resources that are out there for something that you could learn. Right now you're listening to this brilliant radio show with
you
2
could do
amazing people that are here to tell you some information. But there's podcasts, there's all kinds of webinars,
audio
and
books,
blogs,
and regular books, and newspapers, and magazines.
Exactly. And even just a minute ago, you were talking about the movie The Founder. There's movies that you can watch that are really entertaining.
And you're going to pick up something from that story. That's what we're going to go see it as a team. And we're going to pick up something from the story. How this guy married 2 things together. And he was a brilliant marketer. How he took the systemizing a business concept and marketed into a gigantic business.
Yes, international, global whirlwind of money. So you always need to be thinking and pushing yourself to learn something, because it's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to just accept, be so stuck in your day-to-day, whether it's in your business, running your business. We call it working in your business instead of on your business. So working on your business would be taking the time to go to a seminar, to learn something new, to read a book, to go to a lecture, whatever the case is.
So those of you that are business owners, most of you are working more than 40 hours a week. Some of you have figured out how to do it with less, and that's okay. But if you're working 50 hours a week or 60 or whatever that number is, take a look at your week last week and figure out roughly how many hours did I actually spend working, thinking about it on the weekend even, and a percentage of that time, and it might be 10%, if it's 5 hours a week or 3 hours a week even, if you could spend a couple hours to 3 hours a week on learning something, that would be very helpful to you. And it's not about learning it 1 week. It's about doing a little bit every week, so that 50 weeks, if you did 2 hours a week, it'd be 100 hours a year.
Yeah.
So it'd be 2.5 weeks a year that you'd be learning if you did 2 hours a week. So that's what we're suggesting, is taking a little chunk and saying, with this chunk, I'm going to learn some things. And maybe you even take off at 4 o'clock on Thursday and go home and read for 2 hours. That's
and usually
fine.
You'll find
You're
the
boss.
people that are the leaders in industry, the people that have gotten to major success, read 1 book at least a week on business. And some of them can even amp that up and read 2 or 3. And it's just amazing the number of hours that you can put into it. But now with today's technology, it's so easy. You can get one of those Bluetooth speakers in your shower and listen to a podcast.
You could
can
do
be
that.
listening
You
to
might
an
get electrocuted,
audiobook.
but it's low voltage, right?
Yeah, it's just
but
battery.
you could listen to it on your way to and from work.
Right, absolutely.
Peg, our other partner, is working with a gentleman who's executive vice president at a large Fortune 500 company, and he reads everything she recommends. He reads it right away.
Oh, nice.
So a couple of times a month,
Yeah.
he's reading a book.
Wow.
So
Well, I have a brilliant idea. You want to know my brilliant idea?
I'd like to hear it
In
right
order
now.
to seek wisdom, our listeners, we can give away 2 tickets to our Growth Club in March. What do you think?
You could do that. Yeah, we have a 90-day planning session every quarter, oddly enough, and it is on March 3rd.
Yes.
And it's in Grandview. It's at one of our clients' offices. It's at MA Architects in Grandview. And we have a couple of slots. If you would like to come, just give us a call at 614-306-7922. Again, it's 614-306-7922. And this is Business Talk with Michelle and Pete.
And the first 2 callers will win those tickets. So give us a call right away and go ahead and secure that. It's like $500 a piece value. So it's really a worthwhile. Basically, you'll spend the day learning a lot of stuff, and working on your business to plan what you want
So
to
you'll
accomplish.
create a 90-day plan, but we also have one solid hour where we cover one topic in depth, a training
Absolutely.
topic. We
Yep.
do that every time. And there'll be between 45 and 50 people there, and you'll learn from other people who are managing people and business and cash flow and all the problems that you have and all the
Exactly.
opportunities that you have, and you'll learn some things from them as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the last thing about seeking wisdom is pick your friends wisely, because you are who the people you hang out with in reality.
Okay.
That's not to say you're going to dump every bad friend that's out there, but choose people
You're bringing me down,
that
man.
maybe push you. Choose people that can be great mentors and can lead you to the life that you want to have. So again, just referring back, we are talking about the book by Andy Andrews called The Traveler's Gift, and we're talking about the 7 decisions that determine success.
Okay.
The first one we had was The Buck Stops Here, and the second was Seek Wisdom. So are you ready for the
Great.
third?
Let's do number 3.
All right, I'm excited. Number 3, I am a person of action. Well, isn't that fitting since we are take action
So
business
we got the
coaching
wisdom
and-
thing, and we learned something, and then we're going to go figure out how does this apply to myself or my business or both.
That's right. Absolutely.
Great.
I inspire others with my activity. So this is a great thing for leaders. You need to be active and pushing and, constantly being busy. A leader that just sits there not really doing anything isn't very inspirational for people to follow.
One of the things that we recommend, at least our clients over the last 12 to 13 years, the ones that make decisions faster get better results.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep.
And sometimes we have folks that worry and will analyze, and pretty soon 6 months have gone by.
Right.
And you miss opportunities that way. And you
Absolutely.
can speed up, even if you make a mistake occasionally. As long as you don't drive a bus off the cliff. If you make a mistake occasionally, if you take action quicker, you generally grow faster.
Right, absolutely. And they talk about that successful people make the decisions quickly and
they
change
make
their
mistakes
minds
sometimes.
slowly.
Sure. Yeah.
You make the
There you
quick
go.
decision, you change your mind slow.
Okay.
And we also say fear has no place in this. Fear can really hold you back. It's okay to be slightly cautious. Again, don't drive off the cliff. But fear, we actually like to equate to calling it FEAR, false expectations appearing real. Because sometimes fear can paralyze you because what you think could possibly happen, which isn't reality at all, can really stop you from making those decisions, stop you from taking action, stop you from moving forward.
Okay.
So we just say stop it.
Okay, good. And
Stop
if you
having
think
fear,
about
right?
it, again, this is Business Talk with Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell. And we are talking about helping you to grow your business faster and to get better results with a little less effort generally. And some people make decisions based on hope.
Yes.
What could be the result? What might happen if I take some action on this activity? And sometimes you make decisions based on fear. And we want to push you to have clear goals and have optimism about what could happen if you worked on it and make more decisions based on hope rather than fear.
Absolutely.
If you make them based on fear, you tend to get less results.
Right. And if you think about it, failure really only exists for those that quit. So if you refuse to quit, you can find a way around it. Yes, you
Well,
may
and it's not permanent.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to make a mistake. You're going to make a decision to spend a few $1,000s on a marketing event, which has happened occasionally.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
But
And
you
so
usually
it may
learn
not be
something
the result
from
you
it.
want, but you learn and you
Right.
find a new solution and you find a way to move on. But if you just throw up your hands and drop the mic, as they say, and
Drop
walk
the
out,
mic. Okay, we're done.
yep, then you're really not going to progress anywhere.
So let's take them from the top again. The top one is,
Is the buck stops here?
okay, number 2.
Seek wisdom.
Okay, number 3,
I am a person of action.
person of action.
That's
So
right.
it's action coach. It's not we're going to think about it for a long, long time, Coach.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
We're going to hold you accountable and make sure that you're working hard to get things done. I choose now. Seize the day, as they say.
Okay.
The old carpe diem. Pull
Carpe
it out of
diem.
the
Oh my gosh, it's twice in
closet
one day.
and bust it off here.
All right. So what's number 4?
What is number 4? I have a decided heart and a clear vision for the future.
Ooh, a decided heart.
Decided
Okay.
heart. So I have passion for my vision.
All
Some
right.
of the things that we don't take enough time on is to really take a vision, take time to really think through what it is that we do want. In
Okay.
human life, I know we're very negative people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's fighting that to not think of what you don't want, but think about what
you do want. So that
Yes.
brings another book to mind. It's The Law of Attraction.
Oh, yes.
Michael Lozier is the author of that, and it's a little tiny purple paperback, so it's a really small book, real quick read.
Yep.
And it's amazing about, and we've seen him speak before. He's a very humble man, great guy, and very nice and smart. And basically what he says is that you tend to get more of what you put your attention, energy, and focus on.
Right.
And if you put your attention, energy, and focus on some goals that you've created either personally or business-wise, you tend to move in the direction of those things. Sometimes you get a little bit slightly different results than what you intended, but you will move toward your goals. If
Right.
you write them down even, just write them down.
Write them down. Absolutely. Yeah. We talk about our reticular activating system, which
Mm-hmm.
is a part of our brain that's in there, and it's constantly in there kind of helping you do things that you don't even realize you're doing.
Right.
It's what you're focusing on is what you're going to get. The exact purpose of the law of attraction, that what you may not even realize that you're focusing on. So think of your reticular activating system. You just went out and bought a new shiny Honda Odyssey. I don't
Guess
know
what?
why.
When you look on the highway, what happens?
There are 8 million Honda
There are Hondas
Odysseys
all
out
over the
there.
place, right?
Of course, you
And you
probably
didn't
see
see
those
'em
anyway.
before.
But
Yeah.
exactly. But you didn't notice them before. You thought that you were being so creative and going out and getting this, shiny lime green Honda Odyssey. And sure enough, surprisingly enough, there's 80 million
Somebody else has
Honda
one. Darn.
lime green out there. Or, you just found out that you're pregnant or your wife is pregnant. All of a sudden you see babies everywhere,
Right,
pregnant women
right.
everywhere, things that you don't see. So your reticular activating system, again, if you're constantly feeding it with this vision, it will push you there. It's kind of like driving to work every day. You may not even be paying attention to where you're going, but you go the same route every day.
So
and
this
thoughts are
applies in your
taking over.
business a lot of ways. Is one, as the leader of your company, you want to make sure you have goals yourself, right?
Right.
Where do I want to be in 5 years?
Yep.
How big do I want the business to be? How many hours a week am I working? What type of people do I want to surround myself with? What kind of customers do I want to have? How many of them? All those kind of things. Then we want to come back and say, all right, a year from now, only 12 months, which goes by really fast.
It does.
What do we want to have accomplished by then in order to get to that 5-year vision? And then we want you to have a 90-day plan. We want to
Right.
make sure there's a 3 to 5 goals that you and your team are really focusing on together.
And isn't it interesting that I believe our topic for learning at our next 90-day plan is building your vision.
There you
We're
go.
going to take time and put together our vision and really spend time to think that through and make clarity and to what it is that you want for your business, for yourself, for everything, so that you can really get your reticular activating system focused on
and then
that.
part of that is to bring that vision back to your employees and make sure they know what the vision of the company is. And then how do they fit into that? And what does it mean to them personally?
Absolutely.
We want them to be engaged and be successful along with your company.
Right. So the reminder is that we would have 2 tickets that we are giving away to our 90-day planning session on March 3rd, where we're going to have excessive learning, wonderful amounts of learning.
Excessive learning.
Excessive learning.
It won't be too much, but you're going to like it.
As much as you
Right.
want, you can
Yeah,
take out
as
of it.
much
Yes,
as you
will
want.
learn
I
a
like
lot
that.
from others, not only from what we will be
From us,
teaching, but
right.
from the others that you'll be networking with that day. So we have 2 tickets, and the first person that calls that wants to bring 2 people in is going to give us a call at 614-306-7922. Again, that's 614-306-7922. This is Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell with Take Action Business Coaching. And give us a call today.
Could your business use some help? Call 614-306-7922 to schedule your coaching session. 614-306-7922. Now, here's more business talk.
Well, good afternoon, Ohio. You're here with Pete McDowell and Michelle Calcasola. We're talking about your business, and we've been talking about a book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. And Michelle, you've rattled off 4 of these concepts so far, and just give us the titles again.
Yeah. So again, these are the 7 decisions that determine success, and that could be success in your business, success in your life.
Okay.
So the first one is the buck stops here.
Cool.
The second is seek wisdom. The third, I am a person of action. The fourth is I have a decided heart and a clear vision for the future.
So you know where you're headed.
Yes.
And that's really important. A lot of us get into business because we're a good technician. We're good at sales. We're good at manufacturing something, or we're an engineer, and we've got some skill, and you're a veterinarian, whatever it happens to be, and you want to start a business.
Absolutely.
And you're good at that part of it. Now you've got to figure out, number one, do I want to manage the business myself? Do I want to sell? Do I want to just do the technical part of the business? Which piece do I really want to work on myself as the business owner? And then if there's something I really don't enjoy, who could I get to delegate that to, hire, and they may love doing that part of the business that I don't like.
Absolutely.
And then also have a long-term goal.
Yes.
You know, whatever your age happens to be, hey, I'd like to retire or slowly start to retire at this age. I want to cut a day a week off each year, you know, that type of thing. Or do I, one day I'm just going to stop completely? And we have some of that too. And either way is good. You just have to figure out, what is your destination? Where are you headed?
Absolutely. So the next one, are you excited to hear the next one?
We're ready. Number 5.
This is my favorite one.
All
I
right.
choose to be happy.
Okay.
So
All right.
happiness is a choice.
Okay.
You want to greet each day with laughter and fun. I even tell some of the teams that I'm coaching with, if they have their normal morning meeting, oftentimes we recommend that they do a 5-minute quick morning meeting to get things out, just any quick discussion, and start the day off on the right foot.
Okay.
And I say, you know, if you can, bring a joke or put on a YouTube video of something funny, or do something just to get the whole team laughing. You know,
Okay.
make it start out with the right idea.
You're going to be at work anyway. We might as well enjoy it, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I just took my daughter this weekend to see the movie Moana, which is about a princess, tribal princess, and all
Okay.
this stuff. But before that, they had this interesting little cartoon. You know, sometimes they do those short cartoons beforehand.
Yep.
And it's talking about all the different organs in your body and how they work together, and the
Okay.
brain's controlling it.
Oh, yeah. Brain's in charge, man.
yes, showing this guy going through life, and his brain keeps stopping him from doing all the fun stuff because
All right.
it starts seeing how the things that could happen, the fear that comes into
Okay.
play. So stops him from dancing around in the shower because he might
Oh, yeah,
slip
no
and
dancing,
crack
no
his
having
head
fun.
and
Yeah.
fall. That he can't go surfing because he'll drown, and he can't do,
right,
this
okay.
because somebody might laugh at him, and it just takes him to his mundane job where he's basically slowly dying because he just pushing in the numbers. It shows this, sad room of all these people just there,
Right.
not having any fun.
Gotcha.
And then the brain sees that his heart is dying and his whole body is
Oh,
starting
okay.
to, go down because he's so sad and depressed. So the brain then realizes, I need to lead sometimes with my heart. Sometimes I have to have the fun. I have
There
to
you
be
go.
willing to have fun. So he lets him go out, play on the beach, eat the big fatty breakfast that he wanted to
Yeah.
eat. And again, not that you're
Yeah,
going
not
to do
every
these
day,
things
right,
all
yeah.
the time.
But occasionally
he
just
came
let
back
loose.
to work, and he had a big smile on his face, and he started kind of dancing around while typing on his computer, and all, it changed the environment. It
That's
changed
important.
the environment of where it is. If you walk into your office and everybody's got a frown on and everybody's angry
Well,
and grumpy,
and for you business owners out there, you can never not lead. You're always leading. And if
Absolutely.
you have a smile on your face, you're more likely to have people in your office also be happy.
absolutely.
And it's part of your role, and
Yep.
like it or not, and it's a habit, right? We want to.
Absolutely.
Our life is a collection of habits. We want to collect good ones.
Yep.
And this is one that is a great habit to have, just routinely, to be happy unless you have something to not be happy about. And it happens occasionally, right? Things
Exactly.
do happen.
Yep. And laughter is the outward expression of enthusiasm. So enthusiasm is contagious. If you are excited and you are, happy to be where you are and bringing out positive energy, it will spread itself
Great.
throughout, you
Great.
know. So why not do that with your family, with your friends, with your business?
So this is Business Talk with Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell, and we're talking about your business and your success. And we've talked for a while here about 7 decisions that determine your success, and it's from The Traveler's Gift by
Andy Andrews.
Andy Andrews.
Yes. So to recap, we have the buck stops here.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is seek wisdom.
Okay,
I am a person of action.
you're going to go do something.
That's right.
All
Fourth,
right.
I have decided heart and a clear vision for the future.
Okay, you're going to plan.
Yep.
Yep.
And the fifth one that we just went through is I choose to be happy. And
Yes.
a final thing on that choosing to be happy is that I am grateful. And taking time.
That's part of it.
That's
is
part of it.
Having
yeah.
gratitude
Exactly.
for all the blessings that we have. And
Yes.
we've all got them.
Right.
And sometimes you have to stop for a moment and think, oh, yeah, actually, I'm fairly healthy.
Right.
And I have great friends. And I love people. I work with are fun and I enjoy it.
Exactly.
And all the things that you get to do every day
Right.
that you take for granted sometimes when you do them every day.
Absolutely. It's, again, fighting that negativity.
My mom passed away right before she was 93. She was 92 years old.
Wow.
And God bless her. She was always happy unless there was something that really bothered her, but almost all the time she was happy. And my sister and I, we remember her when we were in college age type things. We had an apartment together, the three of us, and she'd come in the morning and fling open the curtains and go, "Good morning. What do you want for dinner?" And we're like, "Get out of here. We're still waking up and we're grumpy." And she was like all excited about
She would
it's
not
another
allow
day.
it.
You know, like it's like, "Mom, what are you so happy about?" Well,
Right.
I don't have any reason not to be happy, so I'm going to be happy.
Good for her. And that's
That's the way it
contagious.
always
And she
was.
led to you, and
Always
you're
was.
a positive person too.
Thank
So
you.
obviously she did a great job.
Yep.
All right. So the next rule is I will greet this day with a forgiving spirit.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. So I have a quote here
Da,
from.
da, da. I like that. We got music going on
That's
here.
right. I have a quote here from Louis Smedes. I'm not positive if I'm saying that name right, but we're going to hope.
Sorry, Mr. Smedes.
Sorry, Mr. Smedes, if I was wrong. But it says, to forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover the prisoner was you.
Oh, you know what? If you're out there grumping about something that happened to you that was caused by somebody else, and who are you hurting?
Absolutely.
It's you, right?
You've got
Usually
yourself
you're the
locked
one
in that
eat
cage.
yourself alive, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So-
The person that might not even realize how they
Right.
offended you, or they
gotta
may
let it
not
go,
care,
man.
and that's their problem. It's not yours, but you need to let it go, because just spending your whole life. My grandmother, speaking of people that lived a long time, she lived to be 94, and for at least
right.
half of her
See,
life.
we've got some longevity, you
We
and I.
do,
We're going to be
yeah.
around. We're going to be doing the show for 50 years.
You guys are stuck
all
with
of
us.
you guys. Take my word for
That's
it.
right. But her and her brother got in some little spat, and I tell you that they did not talk for over half of their lives. And it
Aw.
wasn't until they were in their 80s that they reunited
Their
and got
80s.
back together and realized it was all just a misunderstanding. And,
Oh, man.
all that time that she spent angry, and I don't know if he was angry or not because I didn't really get to know
Yeah.
him that whole life. But he learned a lot, and she learned a lot just by learning to have that forgiving spirit. And sometimes you forgive yourself, as you were saying.
Oh, yes. Give yourself a break.
Sometimes
Right.
you're saying with the blame, excuses, denial,
Hey.
and that below the line activity, the
Right.
blame sometimes can be on yourself, and you have to be able
Yeah,
to
we're
forgive
human beings,
yourself.
and we are going to make mistakes. And,
Absolutely.
And it's great if you can recognize them, and it's great if you can let yourself off the hook as well and say, hey, you know what? I really didn't mean to hurt that
Right.
person's feelings or whatever it happens to be. And if you get a chance, apologize. And if you get a chance, do something nice for them
Yep,
and let yourself off the hook.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
it is okay.
And
It
just strive
absolutely
to
is
be
okay.
better.
And you know what? Forgive them if somebody else offended you. Forgive them whether they're asking for it or not. Whether they apologized, whether they're sorry, you need to forgive them for yourself.
So if anybody got behind a slow person in traffic today, or somebody cut in front of you, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, oh,
Somebody
yes.
cuts in front of you. A good friend of ours, Craig Hohenberger. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you,
He
Craig.
told me this a long time ago, and I still do this once in a while. Somebody cuts me off, and instead of shaking your fist out the window or whatever, blowing your horn. I hate blowing a horn. You know, I grew up in New York. And I moved here, and I hardly heard it at all. Now it's slowly increasing a little bit, but we still don't hear it as
Creeping in.
much.
Yeah,
We really don't.
absolutely.
And is that when that happens to you, look at the car, and if you can see the person, it's even better. But look at the car and say, "I love you, man," and
that
you'll
is
actually
definitely something Craig
physically
would do.
feel better. It actually physically calms you down a little bit.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
mean, it sounds goofy, but it actually works.
Yeah, I
So,
believe it. Yeah,
yep.
it's keeping that positive. It's not allowing them into your brain to cause any
Yeah.
more destruction. That was 2 seconds
They're
of
already in
something
front of you. It's
irritating.
not going to change, right?
Exactly.
Unless you go along the side of the road,
Right.
Which we're not recommending that.
Yeah, I could definitely learn a lesson from that, because road rage is something that's
That's not good. We could all use a
my
little
Irish
less of
temper
that.
could come
Arr.
out. So, so I will take that lesson. Thank you, Pete. See,
All right.
I seek wisdom with you, Pete, and
There we
you taught
go.
me something today. So I will take that myself. And then I will also not be held captive by others' opinions.
Okay.
Allowing others' opinions, or what your perception of their opinions is, will hold you back. So along with having a forgiving spirit, you've heard somebody say something bad about you, or if you just think they're judging you in some way.
Right.
Oh, they
Sometimes
think I'm
our
fat, or they think my
misconceptions are
clothes-
way off.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Don't allow your mind to be held captive by that activity. So let's go through and talk about the 6. We have one final decision to talk about when we come
Right.
back from the break. But we want to just wrap these up. So we have number 1, the buck stops here.
Great.
Number 2, seek wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I am a person of action. Number 4, I have a decided heart and a clear vision for the future.
Okay.
Number 5, I choose to be happy. And number 6, I will greet this day with a forgiving spirit.
All right. Very good. And we will review those again when we come back and get to the 7th one. And again, it's from the 7 Decisions That Determine Success from The Traveler's Gift, which is a great book by Andy Andrews. And we do have 2 spots at our 90-day planning session on March 3rd. If anyone is interested in those, give us a call at 614-306-7922. Once again, it's 614-306-7922, and we'll get you set up and get you in there with about 50 other business owners.
To learn more about today's topic, call 614-306-7922. Now, back to more business talk.
Well, good afternoon. It's Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell. And Michelle's voice is different than mine. This is Pete McDowell, and that's...
I'm Michelle.
There we go. And we're talking about your business, and we've talked about 7 decisions that help you determine your success, and it's from The Traveler's Gift. And you want to go through number 7 now, Michelle?
Yeah. Should we repeat 1 through 6 first?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah,
just to remind everybody what we've already gone through. So the first decisions that we learned, the first one was the buck stops here. The second is seek wisdom. The third, I am a person of action. 4, I have a decided heart and a clear vision for the future.
Great.
The 5th, I choose to be happy. And the 6th, I will greet each day with a forgiving spirit. So the final and probably...
And that includes yourself, not
That's right.
others, not just others,
just
but
not
yourself
others.
too.
Absolutely. Is I will persist without exception. That means
Oh, wow.
that
That's a
I
good
am
one.
going to just keep pushing through. And this is something
Right.
that I work with my kids a lot to talk about, that, you just need to keep trying, keep pushing
Right.
through. Do
Right.
not let things get in your way or find a new path.
Mm-hmm.
We always want to try to overcome the hurdles in life, so we want to seek the wisdom that will help us to get over those things. So I will persist without exception. The power of choice, and you choose to persist without being stopped.
Okay.
If something
And
gets
so
in
you
your way,
really
keep
have to
going.
be determined
Right.
that you're going to get whatever you're trying to get done. You're going
Exactly.
to be successful.
Absolutely.
So determination, really.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
That's super.
And you want to focus on the results, not the pain that it is to get there, right?
So
Because if we say we want to lose weight,
I
we know.
was on a ski trip, and my daughter couldn't come because she had med school interviews. Emily, good job.
Oh,
and
yes.
then,
Good job, Emily.
And David had a knee injury, but he wanted to go anyway, so he hung out with my brother and sister. So I skied with my 30-year-old son, Ben, who weighs 230 and is in really good shape. And holy cow, it wore me out. But it was really, really fun. But there are times on the mountain when you're looking down and going, holy cow, I'm got my skis over the edge and I can't really see anything. It's pretty steep. And
I really
if
wanna
I
do
get in my
this?
head I'm going to fall, I'm going to do it, right?
Right,
And if I
absolutely.
get in my head this is going to be fun, 9 times out of 10 it don't fall and it's fun.
Right, exactly. You didn't let the fear paralyze you.
I don't think tree.
thought about
I
the
think
focus.
turn,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You thought about the end result,
So
the
you're gonna
happiness,
attract-
the euphoria you would feel at
Exactly.
the end of the mountain.
And how rubbery your legs are at the end of a couple runs.
Exactly.
But,
I know you work out with personal trainers sometimes, and you
Holy
go,
cow.
and let me tell you, the results aren't in the first 10 raises of that barbell, right?
Right, that's right.
It's in when it gets hard is
Yeah.
when the change happens. So that's
Right,
what you
there
have
you
to
go.
be able to push through.
So it's a
get through
comfort
that
zone
pain.
thing. And if you're
Absolutely.
comfortable, you're really generally not making much progress.
Exactly.
So it's
And
got to be
that's-
a little uncomfortable.
Right. And that's where your personal trainer is there to hold you accountable and make sure that you do the extra 10 push-ups or whatever's the next level that you need to push past that comfort zone to get you no pain, no gain, right? Is
Right,
one thing
right.
they like to say. And we as coaches do the same thing for business owners, is that we
If
push
it's not
them.
uncomfortable, your goal may not be big enough.
Exactly. We may need to think a little bigger. We need to do a little harder. We may need to stop letting obstacles get in our way. 'Cause
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy to be like, oh, well, somebody called off sick today, so now I don't have time to work on it. Okay, well, what are we going to do to find
Yeah,
time?
let's
What can
do it
we
tomorrow.
do to get somebody
Yeah.
else in? Or what's the next day on our calendar that we can get it done?
So this is Business Talk with Michelle Calcasola and Pete McDowell. We're talking about your business.
That's right. And so we're talking about the 7 decisions that determine success. And right now we're talking about the 7th decision. I will persist without exception.
Okay.
And I want you to think, I am stronger than most people. I can overcome anything.
Okay.
You keep those powerful, positive thoughts in your head. It really can come true.
Mm-hmm.
You really can overcome anything that gets in your way.
Great.
So
Great. So one of the things that we talked about during the break is that Michelle and Peg and Angie and I have some suggestions for self-care.
Right.
And we want to rattle those things off.
Absolutely.
And there's a half a dozen of those. So
Yeah.
let's go through those.
All right. Well, the first one, we call these kind of the 5 disciplines that will, help you to get to your happiness or help you to get to your success. And the first one is the I am statements. And how powerful are these that you think every single day you take time, and this is something Pete does, I do, our whole team does,
Right.
take every time to rattle off 5 to 10 different things of your vision of what you want to be.
And they're also called affirmations.
Right, or affirmations, yes. So again, think positively about yourself. Think positively about what you want in the future. Not be held back by limitations.
So give us an example, Michelle.
So an example is, I am a great mother who spends many hours a week entertaining her children and having fun with her family.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Because it's easy to get beat down as a
Yeah,
working
your
mom.
children,
and be
how old
like,
are your kids?
They're 7 and 9.
7 and 9. So
So-
I've got adult children, and one
Right.
of mine is I'm a great dad when I keep in touch with the kids and do things with them that we both enjoy.
Absolutely. And that's
And there are
perfect.
3 different kids, right?
Yep.
So we do different things with different ones at different times.
Right.
And it's all good.
And how easy is it as somebody who's working, whether you're a working dad whose kids are off in different states or whether you're a working mom or dad here just trying to survive the day-to-day of running
Right.
your kids to all their activities and to school and to your own job or jobs as it may be. So take time to think positive things about yourself and positive things about that relationship to help remind you that you are doing a good job.
And these affirmations could be things that you're not quite perfect on yet,
Right.
but you're in the process of becoming
Yes.
that person. So we want
Exactly.
you to remind yourself that, hey, I'm getting better and better.
Right.
I'm physically strong as I work out 4 to 5 days a week.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. So,
Yep.
So what's a second one?
Second one would be taking time to meditate. Meditation is a powerful thing, and it's something before I worked with Peg and Pete, I actually hired them as my business coaches for
Right.
the
Quite a
business
few years
that I was
ago.
running. Yeah. And we brought them in, and they were like, you need to meditate. And I thought, I don't have time to meditate. I'm too busy. I will not do this. I will not take the time. But let me tell you, how powerful meditation is when you do take the time. And, there's simple ways to do it. And honestly, if any of you have, kind of the new Apple Watches or, Fitbits or anything, some
Right.
of them
There
have
are audio
relaxations
versions.
things.
Yep.
And there's audio versions.
It's gotta
that you
work
can
for
find.
you.
Exactly. Something, that you don't have to take hours and hours and hours on end. You might be able to take 20 minutes and just sit quietly and reflect or think. Have some nice calming music in the background.
I'm trying to
There's all
think of
kinds
the
different
a
ways.
lot of the star athletes, high-level athletes meditate, and Phil Jackson did this years ago with the Lakers, I think, and it was kind of looked at as, well, what, that's kind of mystical stuff, but you look at the results, and the results were excellent.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to and after you get done doing it, it calms me down.
Mm-hmm.
If a lot of things
Absolutely.
are going on, if you meditated for the previous few days, even if you do it 2 or 3 days a week,
Right.
you'll be able to take the things that happen during the day a little easier. Just gives you a little more resilience.
Yep. And even taking time to take deep breaths for 2 minutes or 5 minutes will calm your heart, make peace for you.
So those 5 things, number 1 was affirmations or I am statements, and the second one was meditation, and the next one could be reading
Absolutely.
or listening to an audiobook.
Some sort
And we
of
don't mean you
learning.
have to listen to a business book all the time. You could listen to something, a fiction book or something that's self-help or self-care, those kind of things, but something that gets you out of your current state and into something else where you're either learning or calming yourself down, and reading does calm you down.
Absolutely. Yep, that's something I do every night before I go to bed. I don't read the business books before bed. That's when I read the trashy romance novels.
All
right?
right, cool.
Because it just helps
I'm
get
not
your mind
plugging
out
those.
of
Not trashy.
I don't
Okay,
know. Well, I don't know if they're
good-
trashy, but I guess
yeah.
the romance novels. But but definitely
That's an action word.
Action word.
Yeah.
That's right. So taking time to read or learn, again, listening to podcasts, listening to blogs, doing something, but even just fun
Audiobooks
reading.
work just fine.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing. So
Same
we've got
thing.
affirmations, meditation, and reading. Those are 3.
Yep.
Number
Now,
4.
Exercise.
Exercise. There's one.
It may be something that you think you dread, but really it does get those great endorphins going, make you feel better, and you
And that's
pick
what you like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good.
Like-minded
Bingo.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, so
It's
if
gotta
you
be
like
something
to
you
swim,
enjoy.
If you like to walk the dog,
Right.
if you
When
like
I told
to...
Peg, hey, I'm going skiing for a week, it's 10 degrees, it's very steep, and we're outside the entire day. Like, we don't go in.
Yeah.
And she's like, that sounds just
Horrible.
awful. That's frightening.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
hey, I'm
would we do
fine.
that?
Yeah, but I like it.
Exactly.
So yeah. So if you like it, go do it.
That's
right.
right.
If you like to swim or you like to run or
Yeah.
even walking.
Exactly.
Walking is a great exercise.
Yeah.
It's always good if you find somebody to do it with, though.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the one thing that has helped us is exercising together.
Yep.
It makes it easier to get out of the bed and go.
Yep. Keep you accountable and all
Yep.
that jazz.
Yep. So exercise. That's
So,
number
yeah.
4.
So another one would be gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, taking
Holy
that
cow.
time, as we talked about earlier, about the forgiving spirit and all of that,
Yep.
wanting to have gratitude. And I know one way that we teach people to do is the gratitude snooze. So you hit that alarm goes off in the morning and you hit the
snooze button,
because you
and
want that
then-
extra 9 minutes of sleep, but you're
Yeah.
really not going to fall asleep, are you? Most likely
I
not, or
will.
it's not going to be a beneficial sleep. So take that time instead to think of some of the things that you're grateful for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be darn near anything, right?
Absolutely.
I'm in a warm bed.
Yeah,
And there's a roof over my head. I'm not soaking wet, and
Yeah.
I'm not out in the elements.
absolutely. I have
And
a job.
the kids are
Great kids.
basically really good,
Yeah.
and they get to go to school,
Right? Yeah. And I try to mix it up when I'm doing my gratitude snooze or even writing in a gratitude journal. And a gratitude journal, I know, is something that you've used before.
Oh,
I've used
yeah,
before,
absolutely.
And it's something you just write down, the things for each day, a couple of things that you're grateful for
Yeah, it could
each
be
day.
one single thing, or it
Yeah.
could be a couple things. And I did it for years. And when you have a bad day, you can take your book off the shelf and open it up and start flipping through there. And pretty soon you realize, holy cow, I have a lot to be grateful for.
Right. Yep.
So what am I whining about? No
exactly.
whining.
Yep. No whining.
All right.
And so the last one that, we said 5 disciplines, but I've added a 6th
We have a
one.
bonus discipline
bonus
today,
discipline.
folks.
Da, da, da. And it goes along with that. I choose to be happy. And to me, it is laughter. Taking time every day or as frequently as you can to find something funny.
There we go.
Really funny. Kids laugh all day long. They
Right.
go to school and something is just hilarious. It's a silly sound.
We
they
get trained
heard.
not to do that
We
too
get
much.
trained to be straightforward and no serious faces and everything. Take time to laugh.
This is a business.
Absolutely. Listen to a great morning show.
Mm-hmm.
Pull something up on YouTube. Watch a sitcom. Take time to watch a silly show. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to always be the news or something educational. Watch something just for fun.
Good. Yeah, I mentioned my brother's business, Hi Mike, once in a while, and they bring their dogs to work. Of course, he's in
Oh, yeah.
Colorado. It's a little bit different atmosphere. But the guys bring there's like 7 or 8 guys in the shop usually, and they all bring their dogs. So the dogs are running around while they're working. And they have a bucket there with tennis balls in it. And at lunchtime, if the weather's nice, they'll hit the tennis balls out with a tennis racket.
Nice.
And the dogs will
The
go
dogs
chase
just
them.
run.
Yeah, so they have fun.
Yeah.
They enjoy what's going on, and it's part of the workday.
Right.
Right.
And dogs are always happy. So, I guess not all dogs, but.
So one thing we want to mention to you again is that we have this 90-day planning session coming in Grandview on March 3rd in beautiful downtown Grandview, Ohio. And we would like to have somebody accept these 2 tickets from us at 614-306-7922. The 90-day planning session will include a learning segment, and at the end of the day, you'll have a plan that you and your team created that you can use to have a better quarter as a result.
Absolutely. Give us a call.
This has been Business Talk, your business, your success. Sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed were those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given was not intended to replace that of your business advisor. For more information about the topics discussed today, call 614-306-7922. 614-306-7922. Tune in next week at this time for more Business Talk, your business, your success.